So it's about 5:30 in the morning. We're just about to get up to go to North Norfolk. Quite a, not too much of a drive from where I am, but we're basically going to be fitting a full Eventuri intake to the our Audi RS3 8V2 carbon, an Eventuri carbon fibre intake kit, as well as the carbon tube kit from them as well. Should make really good power. I'll tell you a bit more when I get to Dow's and get into it. Anyway, watch on and enjoy, and if you've got any questions, hit us up. It's in good condition, isn't it? Oh yeah, did we change it? No, we didn't change it the other day. But that's in well good nigger. I'll wait there till we see it underneath. Oh no, maybe not. It's always the top looks alright, doesn't it? Today's video is sponsored by CGE, based in Suffolk, but national collection is available. CGE are set up as an ultimate vehicle styling company. From full PPF coatings, vehicle wrapping, detailing, decals, ceramic coating and bespoke vehicle modifications, please get in touch for a quote. CGE can modify your car from mild to wild, from road to race. Just get in touch and they can discuss your needs. Check our link for the full details of where you would get your quote. And if you quote PPR15, you'll get 15% off your quote. What are you waiting for? Just taking the carbon tube elbow off, and you can just see actually it's worth noting. I mean, there is some stuff online where it tells you the differential in size. We could even get a vernier, but I won't. Because there's lots of stuff online as to, you know, the size differential. But if you look, you can kind of see straight away. I might put it on screen, but yeah, you can see vastly bigger opening mouth on this side, and then on the other side it's huge. So it also goes a lot more flatter almost in the middle section. So I mean, these Eventuri kits are all flow tested and bench flow tested, and I think I want to say I don't think it's the turbo. I think it's the turbo tube actually. I think this can kind of shunt. I think 500 CFM, and I believe this one's around 830 CFM. So if you understand the numbers, you don't need to understand numbers too much. But I kind of work with CFM flow on a daily basis, so I can understand that and understand and appreciate that probably more than a lot of people. But and as number goes, 500 versus 830, you get the kind of picture. It's just the flow numbers and the bench flow numbers of you know, what these can do. Hence why, you know, the factory, you know, the factory intake system will only take a certain amount of CFM, which means it will only be able to shunt a certain amount of air through and make a certain amount of power before it gets kind of heat soaked and starts you know, making lots and lots of heat, and the performance going down. You can do less with the tuning. These kind of intakes have been tested on cars that have got 1,000 wheel horsepower, so you know, it can take that flow, obviously. Hence, you know, the size of the mouth, the size of these, you know, what these, you know, all this size of everything has to be able to flow that them kind of numbers is unreal. But yeah, proper bit of kit. It's just unmatched, absolutely unmatched. All individually serial plated as well. Just lovely touch. Beautiful bit.
Cars which are always slightly different to what the diagrams are.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's always the way.
So yeah, we are into fitting this intake, or Dow is, and well, like I say, it's not, you know, it's just in situ, you know, partly on, hence it's the gimbal and some bits, but we were just admiring it, saying it is absolute engine porn. I will show you when it's proper completely fitted. I've got the factory upgrade carbon fibre little bit there as well, so it goes really nicely in there. How would you say the installation is of this Dale? Is it relatively?
It's very fiddly.
Very fiddly, yeah.
The quality is there's nothing that can match it.
Yeah, it's just next level, and it really is. And it is. I mean, when we say fiddly, it's not Eventuri's fault. What they do to allow it to be really good in terms of being able to be fitted well is incredible. They're great, and they've got some good instructions. But at the end of the day, things like this, it's not their fault that, you know, the turbo, you know, tube goes down that way. It just has to. So it's always going to be a bit fiddly. There's a few bits here and there that are tight fits, and you know, this, that, and the other. Again, it's not Eventuri's fault. They've done as good as you can.
Highest amount of flow in the smallest amount of space.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it comes at a cost of, you know, having, you know, things having to be big. You know, the intake part, you know, here is just gigantic. But it's all got this kind of Venturi design, so it's just airflow and how it kind of flows and forms and allows the air to kind of enter and be shunted in at a certain pace and smoothness. And like I say, again, I did mention thermal management. Carbon fibre is just so good at getting rid of heat and keeping heat away from key parts, so the intake temperatures are nice and low. For your tuner, what that equates to is it means more power, more repeatability as well of the power, being able to keep, you know, peak power at, you know, constant lows, constant, you know, circuit times and laps, and it's just, yeah, it's just a brilliant bit of kit, and it's only going to help it. I mean, the only thing I did mention, I touched on, is these have very, I don't say they're not poor, but you know, once you do a bit of modifications and they've got a bit more power, they've not got great intercoolers on them. You cannot really, or you shouldn't really even put stage 1 tunes, from my understanding, on a stock intercooler. It's not a really good idea. Would you agree on that, Dow? It's pretty much, that's, yeah, I mean, true, isn't it? Is that
in standard form, they're adequate, but the biggest problem on a lot of modern cars is that you've obviously got the crash bar, which takes up a lot of space. So any upgraded intercooler on these always does away with the crash bar, so you can get a full height intercooler, but they do come with a price.
Yeah, they're very expensive. It's probably why I haven't just gone out and got one just yet. I've kind of been doing lots of other things, normal life things, but we are going to be getting something. I'm not sure. I don't know. Of any product where there's a really good quality product that's a really good price, I always say that an AirTech you know, unit is really good. Price, no odds. Wagner seems really good, but it's just very expensive. So I'm just waiting to decide what I go for, and then hopefully going to go for a stage 2 tune, and then I suspect it's just going to make this car feel like a completely different car. And you know, that coupled with, you know, some other bits that we're doing, another video will be handling mods that I've basically got to put on here as well. I've got a rear anti-roll bar from Whiteline, much more stiffer than standard, brakes, dog bone engine mount, transmission mount thing. That coupled with all these bits, it should make for an amazing little track weapon. I'm really looking forward to, you know, yeah, pushing it on track and seeing what this platform can do. You know, like I say, it's not really super designed for track work as such, but it can be. You know, the right mods can make it really good. Yeah. There's a reason why you don't see so many of these around track. You don't. You know, they can be susceptible to heat soak. They're a bit heavier, but you know, like I say, they've got big brakes. They've got, you know, if you put the right parts on there, you know, these will go round circuits and do great time. So yeah, look forward to getting out on circuit and showing you guys some of what I do on track with this platform. Like I say, you can't beat that 5-pot cylinder, 5-pot engine sound from this RS3. They're just beautiful. But yeah, it's looking good. I'll show you a bit more in a minute, guys. So yeah, if you did want to know, obviously a facelifted engine typically is a GPF and filtered car, so it's got the GPF filtered things in it, in the exhaust, and my car is one of those. Basically the V2 has the DWNA engine, and basically it's pretty much, I'm going to give you a bit of some figures or some insight to it. Daza engines are very talked about. They're the first kind of all aluminium engine, and they were the one that the engine that kind of was introduced into the RS3 range that was meant to be very bomb-proof, very, very strong. The DWNA engine, which is on a GPF car, which is the facelifted one, is typically a little bit more restricted because obviously airflow in the exhausts. It's got a GPF filter, but they have different camshafts. They do have different head codes and obviously different engine code, but in essence they are pretty much the same engine. Strangely though, this we have a little extra intake hose thing that goes on the breather and onto the intake. There's two that are included with the kit, one for a Dazzler and one for a DWNA engine. The one that we needed was for a Dazzler engine, which is odd. So it may just have had some bits that are fitted to this engine car that was on a Dazzler, if that makes sense. So a bit of a hybrid funky one, but it doesn't really matter. That's, like I say, effectively they are the same engine. DWNA cars, facelifted cars, will have Lariat camshaft, I believe, on the exhaust side, so they're a bit more sprightly in the mid-range area, and then the Dazzler motored cars have a bit more punch up top, but in general there's not much in it, but they're both effectively the same engine. But just thought I'd give you that insight as Dale's kind of cracking on with the other bits.
What's the plan then? Bloody soft limiter.
Right, there you go, guys, all done. Dale and the guys at Clive Atho Tuning in Norwich are all done with the car, meticulously fitted. They've had to, you know, sometimes redo and go over some bits because it is a little bit fiddly in places. I remember that from the FK8 Eventuri bit going on. It's not Eventuri's fault, it's just the way the car is and how fiddly some areas are. But sure enough, it's all done, and how good does it look? It's literally pure engine porn. Best intakes in the game, best turbo tubes in the game, just amazing, amazing bits of kit. As I said before, guys, there is going to be a full drive video, so you'll get lots of sounds from the intake, as well as 100 to 200 times stock versus Eventuri. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. If you've got any comments, just like I say, hit us up in the comment section, and yeah, keep an eye on the channel for the new other bits that are going to be going on the car, and the future videos surrounded from the intake video. Guys, as always, like, share, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you again on the next one. Bye for now.